that's so
Yeah.
blown out of proportion because we're not even willing to understand the other person or just accept them for who they are and be like, yo, I respect you like pineapple on pizza. You respect I don't like pineapple on pizza. Awesome. We're different. That's what makes us unique and great as people is that we can be different. We can have different opinions yet still get along.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Um, Sidebar: pineapple does belong on pizza.
You
Just in
can
case you.
you can
but but
well, sorry listeners, that's going to be the end of our first podcast. Um
no, man, I believe I believe it's changing, man. I really do. I think people are starting to wake up from all the brainwashing and just hypnotism that the media does, man. I mean, it's like they purposely polarize us against each other, and it's so sad we forget that we're all human. You know what I mean? No matter at the end of the day, no matter what it is we're all sharing this experience together, even though it may be different through my eyes than it is to yours. We're still experiencing everything together.
yeah, we'll be in the same moment together at the same time. Like right now, we're all in this moment at the same time. The listener, you and me, we're in this moment obviously, but we all maybe some of the listeners agree with you unfortunately. They like pineapple on pizza or they agree with me and they're great. Crowd, what do you think? Pineapple on pizza? No pineapple on pizza. Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, all right,
Wow. That was incredible.
all right.
But no, and I feel like a lot of people don't even know where to start to kind of gain this. And I if you will, I found 5 easy tips on from Forbes. So of course this is going to be for a work environment or business perspective. However, they're applicable in your daily life. So if you will, listener, you want to know 5 easy steps, I got you right now. And Aaron, feel free to interject with your thoughts on these at any moment. So the first step, stop and walk away from what you're doing. Two, fight the inclination to ruminate on what you were doing. Instead, allow yourself to think freely. Three, return to the task and think big picture. And then four, reach out to colleagues. Five, refocus on the work. But the third one is what I really wanted to kind of hit on. Kind of like you were just mentioning, think big picture. I feel that's so important when it comes to perspective. Kind of like you're saying that we're all living the shared experience together. So when you think big picture, tied with perspective, where does your mind go?
Honestly, it's deep for me, man. I think it goes all the way deep into spirituality. I mean, we all share a consciousness. You know what I mean? We all, the golden rule, for instance. Treat others as you would want to be treated. I think there's something deeper to that, and it's although I'm not gonna lie, I let my ego get the best of me, and I lose my perspective. But for the most part, I like to think of myself as someone who keeps that in mind quite a bit, and it affects my decision making quite often. I'm always finding myself asking myself, what's how can I shift my perspective to try and understand another person, or like you said, step away and reevaluate things. Now, being a father, all the decisions that I make now they affect more than just myself. So it it's a big thing for me to be able to step back and just reevaluate things and try and change my perspective.
And it's tough. It's tough, especially doing so many things in life, work, family, normal social interaction. So many of your actions have ramifications on your kids and your family. The way you may say something to your partner will then have a ripple effect down the road for your daughter, or vice versa, or toward your parents, or toward her parents, or there's so many things that you really have to think about because you want to think about how this is gonna affect them later? How is this going to affect me later? And having that filter is so important as well. But it's also that same part of it where we want to be able to have that empathy to be able to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. You know what I mean? To be able to walk a mile in their shoes, because that's the only way we can truly try to understand someone is we try to put ourselves in their shoes. And I feel like
Mm, yeah.
that's important
Yeah.
to.
No, I completely agree. It's hard, man. It's like you said, it's hard. I tend to be a hothead over things. I let my temper get the best of me, but having kids really changed that, man, and it's got a lot to do with understanding different perspectives on things, and I think it's honestly a skill that you learn once you mature, and whether it be you know added responsibility at work or having kids, like I think everyone goes through a phase in life where you start to gain the appreciation for other people's perspectives or um, different situations. You know what I mean? Like you start to become a keen to the way you look at things affects your decision making. You start to become aware of it as whereas as a child you don't really think about that at all. You know what I mean? Or even as a teenager or young adult.
Yeah, and especially as a child, like you just don't get it. Like when me and I was taking my oldest daughter school shopping, and we were buying a couple extra supplies, one or two of mostly everything on her list, so that we could then donate it as well. She was like,
Mm,
why are we donating this stuff to everything that we got, the extra scissors, the glue, whatever it was? Why are we getting this extra stuff to donate? Why are we doing this?" And it just kept repeating to her, we're doing this because we're helping those who are less fortunate than us that need it, because not everyone else's mommies and daddies can afford it, or they're having a hard time, so they're not able to afford all these school supplies that they need. So we're helping them because we can do that. We're able to do that, and we always should do that. It's just that those small things that we do with our kids to try to teach them the big perspective, to try to see it a little bit bigger than they are, at 5, 6 years old, to help them, or even any age. It's important to continue to teach that, or try to instill that throughout the developmental years. That it's not always about you. It's more about the things that you can do and what you can do to help other people, which is for me
mm.
part of the big picture.
Yeah, no, that's a banger, man. That's the whole thing for me right there.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was so kind.
Yeah, man. No, it's all about being selfless, man. At the end of the day, you can be a billionaire and still be the saddest person on earth. It's about how you affect others and the mark that you leave. Whether it's big or small, you leave a mark. Whether it's on your kids, on your family that's close to you, or your friends at work, what you do affects other people, and
Hmm.
it affects their perspective of you.
Hmm. Yeah, no, agree. And I wanted to, also just share a quote that I found here that's really interesting about perspective is everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is perspective, not the truth. That's from Marcus Aurelius. And I really love that. Kind of like what you just said. It's about what we see is a perspective, not the truth. The truth is going to be the view of the person that's watching it. The only thing that you can do is what you can do, and knowing that you're doing the right thing in your heart. If you know you're not doing the right thing, stop and evaluate. And that's as far as I'll get into that. But Aaron, any last thoughts on perspective for the people?
Um, man, I just say have an open mind. It's I know it's tough to do. It's not really something that's encouraged in today's world, but um, hear out the other side that you're so polarized against or you're so anti. Um, I think there's a lot of perspective to be gained from just listening.
I agree, and I agree 100%.